Hello everyone, I'm Anthony Vasecchia with the Scratch Golf Academy, level 3 TPI golf fitness instructor. Today I want to talk a little bit about our core, basically our lower core and everything that will protect the lumbar spine during the golf swing. Before we begin, if you could, please hit the subscribe button or hit the bell so you receive a notification every time we upload a new video here at the channel. That way we can keep bringing this content to you. Again, now I wanted to talk about lumbar stability, and the reason being is, first off, to prevent injury. Second reason, to stay in posture during the golf swing. So I'm going to talk about real quick, before we get into any drills, the two main components for that. One of them being the glutes, which is what we consider the king of the golf swing. And then the second one is going to be your transverse abdominals. And that's not your rectus abdominals here. They're really used for bringing your rib cage down. The transverse abdominals are used for pelvic tilt. Okay, so you can bring your body into a posterior tilt. Your glutes also help with that as well. So what's really important there with the two, again, is that they work together to keep you in posture. So the first one that we're going to talk about is your transverse abdominal and how to engage those. If you can put your fingers, you feel for your pelvis here in front, and you can reach in about 1 inch, and you can feel yourself tighten those muscles. You can see my hands moving outward. The quickest way to understand how to engage those muscles is very simple. Just cough. If you cough, you're going to feel those muscles automatically engage. Now you have to train yourself to be able to do it. And that's really honestly the easiest way, is almost act as if you're going to cough and you'll feel those muscles engage. Once you learn how to use them a little bit better, you'll start to feel yourself be able to use them anytime you're doing that rolling position. Now again, with your glutes, same kind of concept. You want to be able to be in position and be able to tighten those, because this is one of the main tests that we do actually. I'm jumping off subject for a little bit, for assessing your body. We'll do assessments from the ground all the way up. We have that on our website already if you are a member of our website, so you can do a full test. I'm going to give you little segments of how to test for that throughout each one of these videos, maybe segmentally, piece by piece. But it is just basically being able to be in a golf posture and be able to posterior tilt and anterior tilt. And a lot of guys can do the anterior tilt because there's a lot of people that get in this S posture when they golf like this anyways. But you want to be able to go to posterior tilt so that you can always be in a nice neutral spine, so that everything's working in unison during the golf swing and you create that consistent impact on the ball every time. So again, we talked about how you were going to we already talked about how you were going to engage your transverse abdominals and what you would use to make that work with this cough, and learning how to cough and make it work, and working your way up to just doing it with almost a fake cough. Now we're going to teach you how you can use your glutes to get in that position. And these, again, are just the very beginner movements. There are going to be movements that'll fire up the glutes so much more, but these are the very beginning. If you can't do these, you're going to run into problems doing some of the more advanced stuff that'll be coming later. So the way that first the test too is just, can you stand like this and just tighten your glutes, right, left, both, without your hamstrings doing all the work. If your hamstrings are doing more work than your glutes every time you try to engage your glutes, you know you have some issues. You're going to have certain problems getting into the proper positions here at impact, because if you're trying to engage this glute med, or your glute here, or this glute to drive and turn at the same time, this knee is going to want to bend if your hamstring's engaging too much, and that's going to cause you to bend or to lift up out of your shot to relieve the stress on your hamstring. So again, glutes are very important. I'm going to go down on the floor now and show you some of the easy ways to start to learn how to engage your glutes. So this is the easiest way, is to spread your feet out wide like I am now, and then try to use your right and left glute, and then both. When your legs are spread out like this, you're using your gluteus medius a little more. It forces your glutes to fire up. You can press your heels into the floor. That'll also help you do that, because when you're pressing your heels into the floor, your body's trying to take your hip into extension. So it's trying to push your leg back this way, which is going to make your glute fire up. So again, push your heels down. If you can't just do it with your glutes, push your heels down and you'll start to feel that. But make sure that your quads are engaged and locked in too, so that your hamstrings do not have the ability to help. Then bring your feet in. If you can do it from here with one, the right, then the left, and then both, then you can start working your way towards the bridge position. You shouldn't even be doing bridges if you can't engage your glutes with your legs straight, because you're only going to be using your hamstrings and your lower back. Or if you've learned how to tighten your transverse abdominals, then you may be using your transverse abdominals and your hamstrings. We want to use our glutes, our gluteus maximus mostly, and our transverse abdominals to support our core area and our hip area while we're doing bridges. So you bring your feet in slightly, see if you can tighten without your hamstrings again, your glutes, then you bring them in a little more. If you can do it there, then go all the way into that bridge where you would start for a bridge. Now, the first thing, tighten your transverse abdominals. We're getting into a rolling bridge now. Instead of just a regular bridge where people get up this way and you just lift right up, I feel my hamstrings fire up a lot on that one. I want to feel only my glutes and only my transverse abdominals. So what I'm going to do for that, I'm going to push my lumbar into the floor first by tightening my transverse abdominals. And then I'm going to now, using my glutes and my transverse abdominals, roll one vertebrae at a time and slowly lift my rear end off the floor. So I'm going to start that now. I'll move my hands out of the way, and I'm just going to roll and lift. I'm not going to go all the way up here because once I get up there, I'm using a lot more of my back. We're not going to get into that yet. I would just want you to roll and get used to using your transverse abdominals and your glutes. Again, this drill is meant to protect your lumbar, protect your lower spine so that you can keep that stable during the golf swing. And then we'll get into hip mobility, thoracic spine mobility we've already done in some videos, and they're the easy ones. We're going to get into ones that are going to be much harder and more effective in building speed and power. But for now, we're going through all the easy stuff, all the beginner stuff to make sure that your body can even get into the proper positions and do the right moves. So again, push your lumbar down and roll, tilt, tighten. When everything's tight, release it back down one vertebrae at a time and do that again. I'd like to see you do like 3 sets of 20 of those per day to make sure that you can get all that fired up. Okay, so that's one very important drill that I think I give to every single one of my golfers, and even young guys that come in that are 25, 26 years old. You would think they can engage their glutes properly. You would think they'd be able to use their transverse abdominals properly because they hit the ball 350 yards. They don't. And every single one of them complains about lower back pain. So this is usually one of the first things to correct that. So if you like everything that I've given you today and you like the things that we're doing at this channel, please subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and we'll keep bringing you this great content.